The Democrats are entirely obsessed with race. They think that racism, sexism, xenophobia, bigotry of all sorts from their party will help sway enough people to vote for them in November. November 3rd is coming up, and Biden thinks that if he just elects a woman or selects a woman as vice president who's black, he'll have it in the bag. And as far as the fake polling that we're seeing, we're going to squash that in a second. But just look at this. Biden's running mate search zeroes in on a group that includes at least 4 black women. They're obsessed with race. And right now, the popular race to be obsessed with is black. So they're going to be obsessed with blackness. It's got to be black. The VP is going to be black. And why is that? This is why. Because Rasmussen polling says that after these George Floyd riots, the black support for Trump is over 40%. And we all know what the saying is, if the black support for a Republican ever rose above 30%, the Democrats would never win another election again. So what do we keep hearing? Is this about the virus, or is it about the election? Is this about riots and police brutality, or is it about the election? That's what this is about. So looking at exactly the polling from Rasmussen, it's not hard to see. They tweeted it out here. Reader tip coming later. This is a couple days ago. Our daily presidential tracking poll today shows black likely voter approval of the job of Donald Trump is now over 40%. So they're not calling every black person saying, will you vote for Trump? They're looking at the likely voters in the black community and seeing if they support Donald Trump today or not. And that number is over 40%. That should tell you something. It told Joe Biden something, which is why he's now saying we're zeroing in on the women who are black. It's got to be a black woman. Can't be a woman who's not black. Can't be a black who's not a woman. We need to show this diversity. And so that's what this article reads on. And you can find this in the Washington Post and read it for yourself. It talks about the big 4. Kamala Harris is one. Representative Demings would be another. And then it talks about here, I want to show you what I've highlighted. It talks about how you do a really hard vetting process if you're going to be a VP nominee. So it quotes Castro from Hillary's 2016 campaign where he had been vetted, and it talks about how this is a really tough, right here, 129 question survey to answer. Julian Castro has been vetted by Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016. You sit for hours with teams of lawyers to go over your personal, financial, and political history. So obviously we know what vetting is, but the reason that they're doing it with 4 black women this go around is that they have to find the strongest female black voice to pull support for Biden, because they know they can get away with the fake polling for a while, but when it gets closer to September, October, they can't depend on fake polling being enough like it was in 2016, because it wasn't. So they're going to really need a figurehead person to be tweeting every day, out in the news every day, on primetime every night, telling black Americans, this is why you need to vote for me. So they're going to have Susan Rice do that, because they know Kamala Harris isn't trustworthy, not credible. Everyone knows her family owned slaves. Check that out. So Susan Rice, she's never sought or held elective office, but she's been appointed a whole bunch of times. And so for that reason, she has the most extensive record of dealing with foreign governments and representing the United States on the world stage. Something that Joe Biden has obviously proven he's inept and incapable of doing. Every time he goes overseas, he ends up selling us out for $1 billion or more. So would we prefer Susan Rice there? I think that's what they're going to try to make you believe. If Joe Biden's not trustworthy globally, don't worry. You'll have Susan Rice doing it. She's got the most extensive record of dealing with foreign governments and representing the United States on the world stage. She served as ambassador to the United Nations. Big red flag. And for anyone in that position, mind you. The national security advisor to Obama. That's why. She has faced criticism, however, for her public comments in the 2012 Benghazi attacks, where she said it was about a videotape. You guys, this attack was about it was a riot that got out of hand because of a videotape, and it's not at all an attack, which she obviously knew was fake. This is the person that Joe Biden wants to pick. Joe Biden wants to pick her because she has to be picked. This is what I'm trying to get to, and I didn't want to say this in the video, but you're just going to get it from me now. Susan Rice writes the letter to herself on the last day of Obama's presidency saying, hey, by the way, Obama needs to do this by the book. This is going to serve to protect Susan Rice. He couldn't come out in April or March, Biden, and say, I'm picking Susan Rice. Once that email had surfaced and once the unmasking requests had surfaced and once Ratcliffe had, or actually acting ODNI from my hometown, right from down the street, Rick Grinnell, when he released Susan Rice's name as part of the team of people that had unmasked General Flynn, and then you see her email saying, oh, it's by the book, it's by the book, it's by the book, 3 times, as if she's summoning the book so that they could go buy it. That is why Biden's going to pick her. It's because it's a CYA move. It's if Trump wants to prosecute or go after her with the DOJ or any other, even just in public, if he's going to tweet about how Susan Rice was actively working against him, it just serves Biden, they think. The DNC thinks it serves their purpose for them to pick weak people because they know we'll attack them. And then it says, oh, they're attacking us. See, they don't like the black woman. That's what this is going to be about. They want to have Trump attack Susan Rice publicly and accuse her of all the terrible things that she's done, along with Barack Obama, so that Joe Biden can say, see, look, he just doesn't like y'all blacks. He's going to put y'all back in chains. That 40%, you better come on back to me. That's what this is about. Let me know if you liked the video. Hit the little like, share it, subscribe it, comment. But really, I appreciate the support. Subscribe.